Amazing.
We didn't get there yet.
No, you're there. You can click
Oh.
on Zoom and you're good to go. All right. Other ones want to
We
give
have
you?
a full house.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Bill.
you.
No problem.
Good afternoon, everyone. The hour being 5:30 on November 30th, 2021. I will now call the Public Works and Service Committee meeting to order. Mr. Pritzloff, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Alder Jones,
Present.
Alder McCarthy,
Present.
Alder Santiago Jr.,
He's muted.
Present.
Alder Lemke,
Here.
and Alder Rouse.
Present.
Thank you.
Present. Can you hear me?
Now we can. Thank you. First, we'll have the approval of the minutes from the November 9th, 2021 meeting.
I would make a, go ahead. Terry can make the motion and I'll second it.
Move to approve the minutes. Thank you, Melissa.
Motion by Alder McCarthy, second by Alder Limpy to approve the November 9th, 2021 meeting. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes. Our first item is 0940-21, Assistant Commissioner Slaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of Robert Cryle, Walden 3 Middle/High School Directing Principal, requesting to close off the south sidewalk of Rupert Boulevard from Chicago Street west to the cemetery during the 2021-22 winter season. This is an every year thing that does happen. It's a steep hill over there, and staff has traditionally been and is now on board with that request.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Ross, second by Alder Limpy to approve item 0940-21. If there are no questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0952-21. Mr. Bridgewater.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a
Aye.
communication. We have a
I think Alderman Santiago is having a little trouble with his connection there. Everything's delayed. Alderman Santiago.
Yeah.
I show up. Can you hear us, Alder Santiago?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay.
All right, here we go. Communication sponsored by Alder Tate II, submitted by the city engineer, submitting amendment to the City of Racine Municipal Code, Chapter 94, Article 3, stopping, standing, and parking. City Engineer Molitor.
We are submitting this proposed amendment to, as Assistant Commissioner Pritzlaw said, to the stopping, standing, parking, more specifically, Division 2 Parking Regulations, Section 94-143, Limited Parking Zones, Schedule G, Item number 6, which is no parking from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. We would like to add the following items. Harbridge Avenue, east side, 185 feet south of 10th Street, and additional south 95 feet from that point. Item number 2 is Harbridge Avenue, west side, from 175 feet south of 10th Street and south 105 feet from that point. This is being requested in order to accommodate truck ingress and egress from the industry located at 1000 South Memorial Drive. Fiscal obligations for the city is the cost of making and installing 4 parking restrictive signs at the nominal cost for from Order 14013 6-53200. If the staff agrees, the staff recommends that the committee approve the amendment to the municipal code as described.
Thank you, Mr. Mulligan. Any questions from committee members? Alder McCarthy,
He has been informed and had the opportunity. Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to ensure that the alderman, in the district has been informed and had the opportunity to deal with his constituents as appropriate.
If I'm not mistaken, Alder Tate is the alder for constituent. And he made
Yeah, I
the-
think that's his district, yes.
yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At least for now, it's his district.
Any further questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposes?
Yeah, we need an approve and a motion to approve in a second.
Oh, did we miss out on a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
I did not hear one.
Oh, you're right, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I got ahead of myself
And-
there.
And then we all said aye, like good
When I asked the big question.
sheep.
Okay, who seconded the motion?
Rouse McCarthy.
Rouse made the motion, Alder McCarthy seconded.
Okay, now, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, for
Aye.
real this time.
Any opposers? Motion passes. The next item is 0945-21, Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Parks, Recreational and Cultural Services, submitting bid results for contract 2021093, the Zoo Path Emergency Repair. I'd ask Mr. Molbeck to chime in at this point if he's available.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak on this item. This item is to do emergency repairs to the well-known zoo pathway that's almost gone. It is my understanding that what is going to be repaired will considerably help any storm that comes in from now until it is fully repaired, not to get any worse than what it is now. And it is also my understanding that the pieces or the material that is being used will also be able to be used in the final project itself. So we're looking for approval to go ahead and do this project before we get any more damage. Thank you.
I would add that we did get two bids on that project from DK Contractors at $59,400 and from AW Oaks and Sons at $68,750. We are recommending in concert with Mr. Molbeck that we award to DK Contractors at their bid price of $59,400.
Thank you, Mr. Molbeck and Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw. Any questions, comments from committee members? Alder Ross.
Thank you, Alder Jones. Will this do anything to widen or bring that path back up to like a normal size walkway, or is this just to ensure that there's no future damage?
Right now, this particular project will only protect what we have right now until we can do the full project, hopefully this spring, early summer.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, comments from committee members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder McCarthy, second by Alder Santiago to approve item 0945-21. If there are no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0946-21. Assistant Commissioner Prisco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alden Jones on behalf of the Department of Public Works submitting Amendment 1 for contract 2020-0069 janitorial services and the building complex. Clean Co. Racine Incorporated is the contractor. We are submitting Amendment number 1 in the amount of $24,564. The original contract was approved for $303,225 under resolution number 0610-20 on October 6th of 2020. Amendment number 1 brings the contract total to $327,789. This is a 2-year contract with CleanCo. They do all of our cleaning here at the building complex. Earlier in the year, we got a request from them to raise their rates, raise their labor rates, to which we said no, but we would consider it for the following year. And this is the result of that negotiation, so to speak. These rates are pretty standard. They're getting their rates up to market rate, and I don't see any problems from a staff level of moving forward on this one. Questions?
I would make a motion to approve.
No, Alderman McCarthy has a question. Alderman Lutfi.
I'm up. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little concerned when I see something like this. Will the $24,000 they're requesting now and the 38 for the next item have made a difference in the original bids? In other words, did they just lowball us for the first year? And now we're catching them up?
Oh, I don't believe they lowball us. I think this is just a result of a market, the market. I mean, we've got a CPI going up 6 point something %. So I don't think they're outside of what could be considered normal, or they either they lowballed us on one end or highballed us on the other end. I think we're okay.
So would we do this on anybody that came in and said our price, we have a contract with you, but our prices have gone up and our costs have gone up, and therefore we want to increase our contracted amount with you?
Well, they can ask, but like in this particular case, we said no, and they had to abide by their contract for 6 months, at which time we renegotiated prices.
And Alderman McCarthy, this doesn't come too often, but it does come up periodically. I think probably the most recent example of something like this that came before this committee was about a year and a half or so ago, maybe a little longer than that, in regards to our recycling prices. When we got into the middle of a renegotiation, when the recycling market fell on its ear due to a lot of the issues with China not taking a lot of that product. So there are unique circumstances where you have to re-engage, contractors that you have working for you, trying to understand what the circumstances are that are affecting the services that they're trying to provide, and seeing if there is a reasonable way to accommodate their requests while trying to, look out for the best interests, of our taxpayers and of course, of what we have approved in the budget. So certainly is this type of request is the exception and not the norm. But it does come up from time to time. And, on construction projects, I think they're a little more black and white, for additional work that's encountered in the field or change of scope. And we enter into contract change orders all the time on various construction type projects, but it's not commonplace, but it does occur. And I think the assistant commissioner went through due diligence to see what was driving the cost of their services going up, and felt this was a reasonable request that could be accommodated.
Yeah, to that end, the initial prices that they submitted are not the prices that we ended up on. So, 5-6 months ago, when they brought this to my attention, my initial response was no, but we could reconsider, towards the end of the year and see what you guys have to offer at that point. They submitted some numbers. It was, a negotiation, and we came to numbers that we thought were reasonable.
If I may follow on, Madam Chair, thank you. So yeah, certainly understand recycling in China, that's a world market kind of thing. I'm not sure cleaning is in the same kind of situation right now, but I certainly understand we owe you some discretion on this. Mr. Pritzloff, could you explain perhaps what the couple of drivers that they indicated to you were, assuming their labor costs, cleaning supplies? Did you have input on that?
Yeah, it was those two things specifically, labor costs and materials.
Okay.
When you looked at some of their competitors in the region here, they were, we were getting a pretty good deal. So I didn't have much of an argument as far as that goes, as far as the labor rates, and materials are materials, whether it's an I-beam or a cleaning product. So certainly when I looked at this, I considered all, our fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers, and we went according, we recommended this accordingly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alder McCarthy, Mr. Fritzloff. Mr. Novak, I saw your hand raised. Was that accident, or did you wish to speak?
I don't know, maybe I should wait for the next item. I was just gonna, well, I'll just say it. I know that when this contract was first done a year ago, there's only two companies, if I believe right, bid on this. And even with this increase, I believe, at least on the park and recreation side, it's actually still lower than it would have been if we went with the other company. And the other bit too is that the company that we are with and we are looking to continue to be with, they already said that if they stayed at that lower price, that they were going to lose their workers and they weren't going to be able to supply us our buildings with cleaning people, and that would have caused a problem with the contract, obviously. So we've been with CleanCo for quite some time, and we know they do a good job. So I think that was another leading edge for us to stay with them with this dollar amount change. Just throw a couple of extra things in. I'll wait till my turn though.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think another thing, that we all should realize too is that this particular line of work is becoming a little more competitive, is becoming a little more exhaustive, and the materials for this type of work with COVID have gone up in price as well. So, the intensity and frequency of which cleaning needs to be done, and unfortunately during the pandemic, and the folks who supply these materials, the SC Johnsons and Dow of the world, it's supply and demand, and those costs have to be passed on ultimately to the consumers and those that are paying for these types of cleaning services. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. And to Tom Ovek's point, CleanCo does have a very good reputation with our building complex manager, Bill Miller. This is work that our building complex staff would never have time to do. If Bill Miller is not satisfied with their work, he would also make that recommendation to the assistant commissioner as well. So just some more points of clarification for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Pritzloff, Mr. Rooney, and Mr. Novak. Any further questions, comments from
Okay,
Chair?
one more quick one, if I may. Sorry, John, you just mentioned, I'm not sure if you meant it this way or not, you said the frequency has been up for cleaning. So are they actually doing more cleaning for us as well, or just deeper cleaning when they're doing it because of either way, because of COVID, I assume?
Yeah, some more work is done. It is changed. It was very frequent last year in 2020. Several times a day they were in the building. So it has changed a little bit. As the pandemic has changed. But certainly the type of cleaning that you see even going on today wasn't done during normal business hours. So it's that frequency, got to keep everything clean. and make sure that,
Yep.
The virus doesn't spread any easier than it seems to already. So, and we did get some funding. And Kathleen Fisher could probably speak to this if you want to send her an email. We did get some funding that helped offset the cost of this extra cleaning through the federal government in response to, the CARES Act, because they knew that the frequency of cleaning that we needed and the extra costs. So a lot of that was, offset with some of those funds. I still believe some of those are being used in this effort.
All right. I'm done berating you. Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Okay. Any further questions from staff? If not, Alder Limpy, would you still like to make the motion?
Yes, indeed. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Limpy, second by Alder Santiago to approve item 0946-21. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0947-21. Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Parks, Recreational and Cultural Services, submitting Amendment 1 for contract 2020-0070, janitorial services, building complex, CleanCo Racine Incorporated contractor. Mr. Molbeck.
I don't have to do too much here, I don't think. I can tell you that the areas that we have cleaned are our 5 community centers, our the cemetery office and chapel, and then also the office area at Park Service. And the dollar amount that you see on your agenda is the dollar amount that was increased on our budget to accommodate this increase. So it's basically the same as the item previous.
Move to approve, Madam Chairman.
Second.
I take it. Motion by Alder McCarthy, second by Alder Santo. I go to approve item 0947-21. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Our next item is 0941-21.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the city engineer, submit contract 2022-001, 2022 storm sewer repair fixed prices. Commissioner Rooney.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Madam Chair. Committee members, so this is an item that we have been going out to bid for, so to speak, for several years, and we would go through the purchasing agent to procure these fixed prices from contractors. This is for emergency repair work that comes up in the storm sewer system. We get a catch basin or a catch basin lead pipe that goes to a manhole fail, and we need to get someone out there to take care of this this issue and get the get the repairs made to the structure or to the sewer, and of course repair and replace the pavement structure above it. What we typically have been doing is we've been soliciting various replies from contractors to do this type of work on an on-call basis. So when these emergencies come up, we can have a list of contractors we can contact to see if they're available to do the work. We have them submit unit prices for all the items that you see on the attachment after the memo. We take a look at those bid prices, we analyze them, we typically look at them. We will throw out high and low prices. We'll look at averaging the balance and try to come up with what we believe is a fair number to be set in a schedule of fixed prices. So if you want to do the work, you're going to do it at that fixed unit price, and so will every other contractor. When we establish those fixed prices, then we go ahead and send these back out to those that participated in the process. And those that want to do it at those fixed prices, they sign up and then we simply contact them on an on-call basis. It was done that way for many years, speaking with the finance director, Kathleen, obviously she's the finance director now for the city of Racine. She wanted us to take these to committee for full transparency and how we do this. We did receive, like I said, bids through the purchasing agent. We established fixed prices. So that's why they're here before you. We have an account in the stormwater utility 60484-54400. This is exactly what these monies are used for, these types of emergency repairs. We budget several $100,000 in the stormwater utility budget to address these. So if the committee approves, we would ask that you approve these fixed prices, and then we'll engage those participating contractors in 2022 for repairs as needed.
Thank you, Commissioner Rooney. Questions, comments from committee members? Alderman McCarthy.
So are these going to be acceptable to vendors and they're going to do the work for us at these prices? Has that already been vetted to some degree?
Absolutely. This is how we establish fixed price units. So what we do, like I said, is we take in they all submit their own individual bids for every one of 39 items. We look at the bids, we try to figure out who's high, who's low. If there's any unbalanced bidding, we will, determine whether we want to average certain bids, and then we will determine based on all the bids we receive, what we believe is a fair fixed price for that particular item. And we redistribute that fixed price list to all these contractors and say, if you want to participate in the work, you're going to do it at these fixed prices for all of these items. You can't go back and say, I want to use my price for this item, or I want to use my price for that item. Everybody gets paid the same amount of money to do the work, and we simply keep it as a rotating call. So whoever is available can do the work. We may call up contractor A and they're like, no, we're busy working on this project. So we go to contractor B and they said, yeah, we can get there in a day or two, get it repaired, get it, backfilled and get the road, the surface replaced and get you guys back in business. So that's kind of how fixed price contracting works. And then all the contractors, like I said, and we are very equitable and fair in how we do this. We have a list, we rotate it. Contractor can do it great. If you can't, we go to the next one on the list, and we just keep rotating through and spreading the work around to all the contractors that care to engage.
Thank you.
Any further questions from committee members? Comments? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Ross, second by Alder Sankey Argo to approve item 0941-21. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposers? The motion passes. Our next item is 0942-21. Assistant Commissioner Purslaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the city engineer. The submit contract 2022-002, 2022 sanitary sewer lateral repair fixed prices. Commissioner Rooney.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Madam Chair. Committee members, this is very similar to the methodology we use for storm sewer fixed prices. These are for sanitary sewer lateral repairs. And we established this back in 2008 when we created the Sanitary Sewer Maintenance Special Revenue Fund. When we created that fund and we tried to figure out a mechanism by which property owners would pay into the Special Revenue Fund, we did that by the number of active laterals you have that serve your property. In 95+% of those cases, maybe more, it's one property, one lateral. So that's how we determine that cost annually that funds the sanitary sewer maintenance fund. When we also created the special revenue fund back in 2008, we also codified that is how the rate would be established. That's how the funding would be established. We also took on the responsibility of the sanitary sewer lateral for the property owner within public right of way or an easement to the city of Racine. So, before the sanitary sewer maintenance fund existed prior to 2008, if somebody's lateral failed out in the middle, of the road or underneath the curb, they were on their own for the repair. That could cost them $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to repair that lateral. Well, when we went to the special revenue fund, we figured we could help also provide some insurance, if you will, that if your lateral fails, at least in the public right of way, we would take on that portion. So we needed to be able to respond to lateral failures because those are obviously even more timely and a bigger issue than a storm sewer catch basin failing. Somebody's basement is probably starting to back up with raw sewage. So we established this program, and whereby now we can get sanitary or sewer contractors, same type of contractors we had in the previous item, that can come out there and respond to laterals. So, the protocol works. If somebody has a problem, they get a hold of a plumber, they usually televise the line. If the failure is discovered in the public right of way, then we employ this same method, contact one of the contractors who have agreed to fix unit prices to respond in a very timely manner and get out there, dig up their lateral and get the thing repaired or replaced if necessary. Again, this is funded in the sanitary sewer maintenance special revenue fund, 22-640-54400. We've started back in 2008, I think, budgeting about $250,000. I think last year we budgeted about $750,000 to address sanitary sewer lateral failure. So very similar program. These folks have to be on call. We need somebody to be able to react. And if they can't because they're busy, we need to go to another contractor so we can ensure that the property owners can get their laterals repaired if in fact the failure occurs out in the city's area of responsibility. So if you have any questions, I can certainly answer those.
Any questions from committee members? We seem to have lost all Lipke. If no questions, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Santiago, second by Alder Ross to approve item 0942-21. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0943-21. Mr. Pritchlow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alden Jones on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations, submitting the 2022 summary of lease agreements for office space. Submitted for your review and approval are the lease agreements for space in City Hall Annex, and the Safety Building. These leases are with entities outside the city and city functions that are either grant funded or enterprise functions. We're proposing a 4.7% increase this year. Not only based on the, let me just add that it's not only based on the consumer price index, it's based on utility costs, it's based on maintenance costs that we have over at the annex and in the city hall or the city function buildings. Summaries attached with the space occupied for each lease being considered for renewal. I would recommend that these leases be renewed for the next calendar year at the rates listed. These leases will generate a total revenue of $133,763.04.
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner Pritchlow. Any questions from committee members? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
To approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder McCarthy, second by Alder Santiago, that item 0943-21 be approved. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0950-21, Assistant Commissioner Pritchlow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Communication sponsored by Alden Jones on behalf of the city engineer, submitting change order number 1 to contract 2021-006, 2021 Accessible Streets and Alleys. Receiving Works Program, AW Oaks and Son Incorporated Contractor, City Engineer Molitor.
Madam Chair, committee members, we are submitting change order number 1 to the previously mentioned project on to increase the contract amount by $53,261, bringing the contract total to $1,251,585.95. This project was authorized under resolution number 0317-21 dated May 4th of 2021 in the amount of $1,198,324.95. If the committee agrees, we recommend that the increased amount be designated as on the memo attached.
Thank you, Mr. Molyneux. Any questions, comments from committee members? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder McCarty, second by Alder Seti Argo to approve item 0950-21. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0951-21. Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the city engineer. Submitting change order number 2 to contract 2021-073, City of Street Transit Cities Facilities Repair, Berglund Construction Company Contractors. This particular change order is regarding the transit center over there on State Street. And what it has to do with is they are replacing the mortar in many of the joints between all the bricks at that facility. It is a historic facility. So there is a special mix of mortar that needs to be put into those areas once it's removed. And there is a the Wisconsin Historical Society and SHPO have very exacting requirements for those. And the contractor, quite frankly, had a hard time getting them to pass. So they finally have done that, but what that did, that delay caused a problem in that we're getting into freezing temperatures. So we don't want to put mortar in during the freezing. So this change order is the purpose of it is to shroud the areas that they are going to put mortar in and heat those areas so that we don't have freezing problems come once winter arrives. So this would be change order number 2. It's in the amount of $4,873.59. The original contract was approved the amount of $240,000 under resolution number 0673-21 on September 7th of this year. Change order number 2 brings the contract total to $264,873.59. And funding that can be appropriated from the accounts as shown on the memo.
Questions from committee members? Thank you, Mr. Fritzlaw.
Move to approve.
Second.
Alder McCarty, did you have a question? I saw your. Okay.
Oh, I did not. Thank you.
Motion by Alder Santiago, second by Alder Ross to approve item 0951-21. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0949-21. Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, ma'am. Communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the city engineer, submitting change order number 2 to contract 2021-003, sidewalk replacement phase 1, machine works program, Forward Equipment LLC contractors. City engineer Molitor.
Madam Chair, committee members, we are submitting a change order number 2, which is a rectifying change order of the previously mentioned contract in the deduct amount of $129,772.10. The original contract was approved in the amount of $716,507.50 under resolution number 0083-21 on February 17th of 2021. The first change order was approved at deduct amount of $38,212.90, and under resolution 0533-21 on July 20th of 2021, bringing the contract total to $678,294.60. This change order brings the contract total to $548,522.50. Quantities of sidewalk associated with accessible sidewalk program decreased while general obligations stormwater quantities increased. The funding is appropriated in the following accounts as designated by the memo. Around the memo. If the committee so approves, we recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mulliner. Any questions, comments from committee members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve?
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Alder Santiago, second by Alder Ross to approve item 949-21. Seeing no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our next item is 0948-21, Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Public Works to submit final payments, contract 2021-003, sidewalk replacement, phase 1, Machine Works Program, Forward Equipment LLC contractor.
Madam Chair, committee members, work on contract 2021-003 sidewalk replacement phase 1 Machine Works Program has been completed, and Forward Equipment LLC is requesting final payment in the amount of $548,522. Let me start over. $548,522.50. The project was authorized under resolution number 0083-21 dated February 17th of 2021. An amount of $716,507.50. We've kind of already gone over change orders. If the committee so approves, final payment would be the amount of $548,522.50 and designated in the account shown on the memo.
Thank you. Engineer Molinder. Any questions, comments from committee members? I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Lipke, second by Alder Santiago to approve item 0948-21. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposes? The motion passes. Our final item is 0944-21, Assistant Commissioner Fritzlaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Public Works to submit final payment. Excuse me. To submit final payment for contract 2020-0028. Tyler Domer HVAC replacement, Southport Engineered Systems contractor. The work on contract 2020-0028 Tyler Domer HVAC replacement has been completed. And Southport's Engineered Systems is requesting final payment. The final contract amount for all the work completed is $168,307.00. Project was authorized under resolution 0202-20 on April 20th, 2020, in the amount of $1,700. Contract amount was increased $1,414 by change order number 1 per resolution 0565-20 on September 1st of 2020. And it was increased again by $11,193 via change order 2, resolution 0858-20 of December 4th of 2020. And if the committee approves the org objects and account numbers are as shown on the memo.
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner Fritzloff. Any questions from committee members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Move to approve by Alderman McCarty, second by Alderman Lipke to approve item 0944-21. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, excuse me. Oh, my apology. Excuse me, we approved of this and I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to say here. I am so sorry. Excuse me, everyone.
It's okay. It's a
Long
long
day.
day. Motion passes.
No, but then it closes. That's what I was supposed to say. The motion passes. Thank you so much, everyone. My apology. We had a lot for the afternoon. And this concludes our agenda for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for participating. And I seem to have lost my train of thought here at the last minute, but thanks again, everyone, and have a good evening.
You as well. Bye.
Bye all.
Senior moments.
I was like,